Hi, so today's video is on pet peeves. P-E-T-P-E-E-V-E-S. So what is a pet peeve? Something that bothers you, right? But it's a little thing. So a deaf person might not know if you spelled it, a pet peeve is. Or if they could hear what's a pet peeve? They may not know what that is. So you could say, oh, it's something that's little that bothers me all the time or continuously or always. I was thinking of all the different ways to say that. Anyway, and so I did write down a list. Sometimes I just try to do things that I remember, but I actually wrote these things down. So what a pet peeve is, because people talk about that. And some things are just for hearing people, right? But deaf people, they have pet peeves too. So let's go through that list because it's a little bit shorter list that I can kind of think of right off the top of my head. But sometimes it would be like, oh, I just hate it. They may say hate it, or that just bothers me. Bothers me that people that have learned a little bit of sign language always want to slow, or the signs are wrong. Like I saw someone I knew, she wanted to say travel, but she said transfer. She did transfer, but she really meant travel. So what is travel? You could travel, or like to fly, or vacation, or oh, I like to travel. And travel means you're going here and here and here and here. You're going to different places. But when you do it like this, it's transfer. Like I transferred jobs, or I transferred classrooms, or I transferred offices, or that kind of thing. But to travel is to travel. I like to go here and here and here and here and here, right? Travel, and it's not a certain way. I like to travel, and you would do it. I mean, if I was in a conversation, I would do it small. So that could be like a deaf person's pet peeve, or they may say, "Oh, I just hate it when you're standing in line." Like at the store, at the grocery store, or if you've been shopping, clothes shopping, and you're standing in line, and then someone cuts in front of you. Yeah, that bothers me too, because I think, oh, they're in a hurry more, or, they just kind of cut in front of you. So you can do it different ways. Cut in front of you, but it's someone that's cutting in line. Or if you're driving and you're in line, and someone, I hate that. And then they stop. Yeah, they go, and you're going, why are you doing that? Why couldn't you just go behind me if you're going to stop anyway? Or if you're going to go into the left lane, you may go, ooh. So that is like a pet peeve, or that just continually bothers me all the time, or always, A-L-L, all the time, or always, or every time it bothers me. So it's the same concept. So if you get the concept correct, oh, that's a little thing that just bothers me all the time, or every time, or always, because that concept is correct, right? Because that's what a pet peeve is. It's like, it's always going to bother you every time someone does that. It's not like if I'm in the mood or not, it doesn't bother me, but every time. Now, for hearing people, it would be different. You would have a different conversation. You would say, oh, when people chew gum and they pop it, pop, that just bothers me. Or they have a pen and click, 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 click. Yeah, I hate that too. Or if their leg, da 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 da. Sometimes deaf people do that and they don't realize that it's making a noise. They do it because it's like a nervous habit. Remember I said nerves? A nervous habit, or a nervous habit. They'll do, bump, 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 or something like that, or da, 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 da. Right? So those things bother hearing people. Okay, let's see. So I did a lot of that. Oh, or if you have a drink like um, in the South we said Coke, or you could say cold drinks. So anyway, you have a drink, slurp. But deaf people normally don't hear that, so the sounds don't bother them. Maybe an action bothers them. Okay. Or some deaf and hearing people would be bothered every time if they continually see people spitting. And that kind of habit, when I was young, you'd see that people who had tobacco and they would chew it, and then you would see it and it would drip down there. Gross, right? That's just gross. But there's some people who just spit on the sidewalk, and they're talking to you, chat 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 chat, and I hate that too. That bothers me too. Okay, so that would bother hearing and deaf. I did a lot of them. Oh, and what's so funny is some people are bothered by people on the phone in public when they're blah 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 blah, right? So they're talking and they talk really loud, so you only hear one part of the conversation. Another thing, and when I was going to say is when I went to Japan, if you were on the cell phone, that was considered rude. So you didn't do that like on the bus, or you on transportation, mass transportation on the subway. Um, that was considered rude. So you were never on your phone in public. But here in America, everyone's on their phone now. So I don't know if that bothers people anymore, but like in restaurants. Also in restaurants, people, they don't like hearing like that, the fork or a knife or a spoon, ching, 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 ching. It's just a lot of noise that bothers them. It's just too much that people aren't trying to become quiet anymore. They're really, and I think that we are becoming more loud in public spaces. I don't know why, but that is true. Okay. And everyone, most of the time, their pet peeve is nails on that chalkboard, right? It's like, ugh. But deaf people, would it bother them? Probably not, right? It depends on the frequency they hear. So normally, high frequencies you hear less as a deaf or a hard of hearing person. Okay. Some people, especially men, as they get older, if you still have the lights on and you're not turning them off when you leave the room, and you have the lights on, and they'll walk through and they go, right? Or close the door. And, people when they leave, they're not closing the door. Or if they close the door and kabam, right? They slam it. One of my pet peeves, if in the kitchen or a bathroom, if the cabinet doors are left open. And I walk in, I go, and the drawers are closed and all the cabinets, because that bothers me. It's like, why? And I always feel like, and I'm short, but I always feel like I'm gonna, hit my head or something. But it bothers me that it's open. I prefer that it's closed. So that is a pet peeve for me. Okay. Toilet paper. If people are not replacing it, they just leave it like it's empty, and you sit there and you're going, oh no, I have to get up now and walk over and get the toilet paper. So that bothers many people if others in the house do not replace the toilet paper. Or if someone, and that would bother a deaf person too, that might be a pet peeve. Also, like if you're sharing a car, maybe with a spouse or your teenager or whatever, and when they use the car, and it's like on empty, and they don't go and fill it up. So that can bother people. Also, some people don't like to see pet fur on furniture. That'll bother them, and that's deaf or hearing. Most of the time, if it's not a shared pet peeve, it's because it involves sound. So that's why I went. But I've had a lot of congestion because remember I told you I had COVID, so I still have that. So I do that, but I'm sure if it's all the time, when people hear that, they don't like that to hear that. Or coughing a lot. And people, if they have been sick, it's going to take a long time. They have to keep coughing up all that congestion. Or there's some people that do cough a lot, and maybe it's because they have a lung problem or some other, health issue. Problem, issue, problem. Um, oh, and like if you are in church or at work and you hear someone's watch or their phone alarm go off, frequently they'll have that for like they need to stand up and walk, or they need to take some medicine, or they need to drink more water or whatever. That people have like different alarms for different reasons. But if you just like hear it all the time, people sometimes it bothers them. Maybe they could tone it down or whatever. So that can be a pet peeve. Oh, and before I flew fairly, frequently. I mean, not, I mean, it may be, twice every year, but now I don't. But um, before, like when the plane lands and people are like, oh, I need to hurry, and they all get in line, and you're going, I can't even get out and get my stuff. Some people that bothered them. Like if I was in a hurry, yes, or if I needed to go to the bathroom or whatever, that would bother me. But that was not a pet peeve. It was not a constant bother for me. Um, oh, also like if you're watching TV and you have the sound up, and if like people start chatting, and this could be deaf or hearing, and they don't like pause the TV so you can chat. Sometimes that bothers people because then they miss whatever they're watching, their show or movie or whatever. Um, Also, some people are bothered, like if you're in the movie theater, the building itself, and you're all, watching a movie, and then some people are talking and saying, why are they doing that? Or did you see that? Or whatever. And talking, some people that really bothers them. They're like, shh, shh, or they have their phone. You're supposed to turn them off. But some people like will text, and so you see that light, and you're going, come on now, I'm trying to watch the movie. And if you're going to go, like these days, you can just stay home and watch a movie, right? But if you go to the movie theater, then people, if they're going to pay for that, they prefer to have it their own way. They don't want someone texting or whatever. Let's see. And some people like are perfectionists or English people that are really proficient in it. If they don't use proper commas, and you're drawing the comma, that really bothers them. Or if they spell the words wrong, like there or there, right? Also, there are some people, like if you're telling them a story or telling something awful happened, they'll try every time, not just every once in a while, but every time they will try to one up you, right? It's like, oh, mine was worse, or mine was better, or whatever, their experience or their item or whatever. Knuckle cracking. Sometimes that bothers people, and sometimes you need to do that to relax your hands. But sometimes that really bothers people. They hate hearing that. Um, and then we already did the punctuation or bad grammar, like saying ain't or you know not gonna or whatever. But those, like I said, those are mostly hearing people pet peeves. But you can discuss it with a deaf person and ask them what really bothers them every time or always. Um, let's see. Um, I know someone that hates the word moist. Moist water, like humidity, but moist. They hate that word. Um, I had someone that hated hearing, or they're saying, oh, it's like it's an angry typist or whatever. But really, people like my age or older, they're accustomed. They learned on an old-fashioned blind typewriter, and you really had to you really had to hit those keys. And so even though now on the modern computers you don't have to use, you can you da 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 da, but some people are really bothered hearing it if it's loud. Um, there's some other ones. There's some other ones that I was like if you're rude to a waitress, but I don't know if that's just a constant pet peeve or like they're just oh they're just rude. Um, let's see. Oh, there was one like on the plane when it lands. Some people they always clap like yay, like we landed. And some people they really hate that, and I hate that too. I don't know if it's a pet peeve. I mean, I'm not flying anymore, but I don't like that either. It's like really, if the pilot doesn't know how to land, and if we were not in kind of trouble, like if we were turbulence and then we landed safely, I might clap at that point. Anyway, um, oh, like if you're in a conversation and people are going, dun, dun, they're constantly on their little smartwatch or they check their phone and go, oh, and you're on a conversation and you're going, dun, 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 dun. Many people are bothered by that. I see doctors do that. And so I think, oh, well, maybe it's a result or it's someone like their boss or something important. But maybe not, I don't know. Okay, and I do file my nails because I am an interpreter, and if it's kind of rough, it'll hit my face or snag on my clothes, and so I will get out my fingernail file and take care of that. And I had one professor that said that, and he turned around and he said, "What are you doing?" And this is my class. I'm going, and I was shocked because I was trying to take care of my nails so I wouldn't hurt myself interpreting. But some people think that's rude. You're clipping or you're filing your nails, maybe you're bored or whatever. So I think that's the perspective. So anyway, and then I don't want to have this. This is a really long video. Wow. So I'm going to stop at this point. You've got the idea what pet peeves are, and so that maybe you can discuss your own, or if the deaf person, just ask them so you can get to know them. What bothers you the most, every time, and then you can give an example yourself, and then they'll give an example. So anyway, I'm so sorry. This just went on and on and on. It's a new sign, right? Okay, and so I will see you later. Practice.